The Silent Discovery. Chapter 1. The Call. Jake Caldwell had always looked up at the night sky with a sense of wonder. As a child, he would lie on the hood of his father's old car and stare into the infinite darkness, imagining worlds beyond Earth, places where life might exist. His fascination with the stars had led him to become one of humanity's foremost astrobiologists, and now, at 34, he was preparing for the mission of a lifetime, the first manned voyage to a distant exoplanet in the far reaches of the Milky Way. The mission, Endeavour, was designed to find life beyond Earth, any form of life, no matter how strange or unrecognizable. Jake had spent years researching astrobiology, preparing himself for this moment. He was one of the select few chosen for this historic journey. His crew, 5 other highly skilled individuals, would travel for nearly 3 years aboard the Endeavour, with no way to communicate directly with Earth for months at a time. The journey was long, quiet, and monotonous. The Endeavour glided through the cosmos like a ghost, only the hum of its engines and the occasional ripple of data breaking the silence. Time for Jake had begun to stretch. He spent his days studying alien flora and fauna samples from previous missions, running simulations, and preparing for their eventual arrival at the exoplanet. But as the months passed, Jake couldn't shake the nagging feeling that he was missing something. The universe was vast, and yet here he was, stuck in a metal box, racing towards something new. But still, it felt like an echo of the unknown. Chapter 2. The Signal. After nearly a year of drifting through the cold black void, they approached their destination, a planet in the Gliese 581 system, known as Gliese 581g. The planet was in the habitable zone of its star, and scans indicated it had an atmosphere similar to Earth's. Jake felt a rush of excitement as they neared their landing site. But then something happened that stopped him cold. A faint signal pulsed through the ship's communication system, an unnatural rhythmic pattern. It wasn't anything Jake had ever encountered. He ran the signal through every algorithm, checking for interference, for cosmic noise. But no, this was intentional. Someone or something was sending a message. The crew immediately shifted into high alert. The Endeavour was not equipped to handle extraterrestrial communications, but Jake and the team worked tirelessly, reconfiguring the ship's sensors to pinpoint the signal's origin. They isolated from its source to a small region of the planet's surface, near a mountain range. It was the first hint of intelligent life they had found. The discovery electrified them. Jake felt a mixture of exhilaration and dread. They were about to make contact. They didn't know what it would be or who or what was out there, but the stakes had just become immeasurably higher. Chapter 3. The Descent. The Endeavour entered the planet's atmosphere, the ship shuddering as it broke through the thick cloud cover. The planet's surface came into view, jagged mountains surrounded by sprawling forests of bioluminescent plant life. The planet was alive in a way that felt almost unnatural. The air shimmered with strange energy. Jake couldn't help but feel the weight of what they were doing. He was about to step foot on a world where no human had set foot before, and there was a very real chance they wouldn't come back. As the ship touched down, he gazed out the viewport, trying to take in the alien landscape. They had landed near the mountain range, where their sensors had detected the signal. The place felt ancient, like it had been waiting for them. Jake and the crew suited up in their space gear, the weight of their mission settling over them. They would be the first to explore this planet, to make first contact. He was about to be part of history, if he survived it. Chapter 4. The First Encounter. The planet was quiet, almost too quiet. The only sound came from the occasional breeze rustling through the alien foliage and the low hum of the ship's engine still lingering in the air. Jake's heart beat loudly in his ears as he led the crew through the landscape, following the signal's trajectory. And then they found it. It was a structure, no, a complex, hidden deep within the mountains. It appeared to be built from smooth, dark stone that reflected the soft light of the bioluminescent plants surrounding them. The architecture was unlike anything Jake had ever seen, geometrically perfect, but incomprehensibly alien. Some parts of the structure seemed to pulse with an internal glow, as if the stone itself were alive. The air around them felt charged, as if the place were radiating energy. They entered cautiously, scanning the interior for any signs of danger. The corridors were vast, winding through the mountain like veins. Everything in the structure appeared to be designed for something large, though there were no signs of life. It wasn't until they reached the central chamber that they found something truly mind-blowing. Chapter 5. The Revelation. The central chamber was enormous, filled with what looked like a vast, crystalline array. The structures, geometrically perfect and shimmering with an unearthly glow, seemed to be both technological and organic, the lines between the two indistinguishable. Jake's heart raced as he approached the center of the chamber, where a massive console stood, embedded into the floor. As soon as Jake's fingers brushed the surface, the entire chamber came to life. A holographic map appeared, projecting out from the crystal array, lighting up the room. The map was of the galaxy, but it was not just a star map, it was a network. The stars were connected by beams of light, flowing like a living organism, stretching across vast distances, almost as if the galaxy itself were one enormous brain, with each star a neuron. Before Jake could speak, something incredible happened. A voice filled the chamber, not through speakers, but directly in his mind. It wasn't a voice in the traditional sense. It wasn't audible, but it was unmistakably there, as if someone or something was speaking directly to his thoughts. "We are the consciousness," the voice said. "You are not alone, but one thread in the fabric of existence. The stars are connected, as are all things. The network is ancient, older than your species. You are merely awakening to what has always been." Jake's knees buckled as the weight of the message hit him. The universe wasn't a cold, lifeless void. It was alive, interconnected, a web of consciousness stretching across time and space. The implications of the message were staggering. Life wasn't a rare anomaly, it was everywhere, and it was all part of a larger sentient network that transcended individual worlds. The structure they had discovered wasn't just a relic, it was a node in that network, a part of a vast intelligence that spanned the entire galaxy. Jake stumbled back, overwhelmed. His breath quickened. There was no doubt now, this was no accident, no coincidence. They were part of something far greater than themselves. And the message was clear. Humanity was just beginning to understand its place in the cosmos. Chapter 6. The Return. The crew left the alien structure in a daze. They didn't speak much as they made their way back to the Endeavour. Jake could see it in their faces, how each of them was struggling to come to terms with what they had just learned. The journey back to Earth would take months, but Jake didn't know how to explain what they had found. He wasn't sure there were words for it. They had uncovered evidence of a cosmic consciousness, a network of intelligence that connected all life, all stars, all galaxies. The discovery changed everything. It changed the way he saw the universe, the way he saw life itself. As the Endeavour began its long journey back to Earth, Jake sat alone in his quarters, staring out into the endless void of space. The stars twinkled, silent and distant, but now They seemed connected, part of a greater whole. The universe wasn't empty, it was alive, and they were just beginning to understand how. And for the first time, Jake didn't feel so small. Let me know in the comments if you would like a part 2 for this story, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more stories like this.